Good afternoon, Friday, February 4th, 2022. Ken Arzon here, Vista, California. Continuing my series on baseball is a numbers game. This will be the 8th video just on this book that I wrote. 2022, examining the achievements and stats of Baseball Hall of Fame players. I've gone through 70 chapters in my previous 7 videos on this topic. This is episode 336. I'm on chapter 71. The title of this chapter, My 64 Baseball Pet Peeves. Peeves. My complaints, my observations, my suggestions. So I go through 64 of them and what I think baseball should do. I can't list all 64 right here, but I'll give you some significant ones. Owners need to stop paying players $40 million a year to appear in 100 games and hit 15 home runs, 55 RBIs, and bat .250. Don't you agree? $40 million for players like this? Baseball salaries are outrageous. $40 million for 1 year? And the guy bats .250 and maybe plays 100 games because he's injured. If I was an owner, I wouldn't do that. Some other ones, instant replay, I talk about that. I talk about the announcers not being too liberal. Overweight people need to purchase 2 seats. You don't want to sit next to someone who weighs 350 pounds, right, at a game. Oh, let's see. Fans running on the field. I talk about my pet, what's the right word? Complaints. Pet peeves, they call it. Let's see. I go through 64 of them. I will steal third with 2 outs if I can. Take baseball rule, you don't steal third with 2 outs. Ricky Henderson did, though. Chewing tobacco, disgusting. Infield fly rule, I don't like it. Batters need to stop adjusting their gloves. Oh, let's see. I'll give you the top 5. How about that? A pitcher who feels it's necessary to retaliate after a batter hits the ball out of the yard. So he plunks the next guy. I don't like that, do you? Reaching base on a drop third strike. I don't like that either. The batter failed to make contact. He's out. I would do away with throwing it to first base. I don't know. Do you agree with that one? Let's see. Some players take a strike when they're behind in the game. Why? Why do you want to get into the hole? Take strike 1, take strike 2 in the 9th inning, and then you swing at the curveball in the dirt and you're out. If you see a strike, plunk it, hit it. Let's see. Playing the infield in. I don't know about that one. The infield shift, I don't like it. I mentioned the average family of 4 shouldn't have to attend a game and pay $500 because the seats are, let's see, $90 each. Refreshments, scorecard, souvenirs, parking. All of a sudden, it adds up to $500 for a family of 4. I don't like that. Chewing gum, blowing bubbles. Some of these players, they go up to the plate, they blow a bubble. Embarrassing. Let's see. Sliding into first base. I don't like that. Let's see. How about this one? Defensive indifference. You know what that is? A guy's on first base. He steals second. but the guy wasn't holding him on. It's still a stolen base. He stole it. Pitcher can turn around, throw it to second if the guy takes off. Defensive indifference. He doesn't get credit for a stolen base. I don't like that one. Managers, players dragging out the game, making it slow. I don't like that. Managers walking a right-handed batter to pitch to a left-handed batter. I don't like that either. Your pitcher is strong enough. Pitch to everybody. Don't just walk people intentionally. I don't like the intentional walk. You go to the game. You have a power hitter. Bases, there's man on second and third. The manager intentionally walks the guy to load the bases. I don't like that at all. So that's you may agree or disagree with some of those. I go through 64 of them. You want to know all of them? Got to get the book. All right, chapter 72. Hope these 30 baseball records are broken. I hope some records are broken. The one I want to see broken is 4 home runs in one game. I want to see somebody hit his 5th home run in one game. Closest we came was Willie Mays. He had 4 home runs in a game. Then he came up. I think he hit a long fly ball to center field. That one would have gone out. That would have been number 5. And I think he was on deck, too, with a chance to hit his 5th and didn't get to the plate. Let's see. I'd like to see the 56-game hitting streak broken. Probably won't be. If somebody can get 56 in a row and then he'd come up for the 57th game, what tension and what a record that would be to break it. I'd like to see somebody bat 500 for the season, but he's got to get 500 at bats. Hugh Duffy had 590 at bats and batted 440. That's legit. I'd like to see someone break the home run record of 60 or 61 in one season. Now, we know some of the other guys hit 70, 73, but how authentic is it? Did they pump themselves up with an extra boost of steroids to do it? I don't know if it helped or not, but they did hit. One guy hit 73, Barry Bonds. Mark McGwire hit 70. Sammy Sosa hit 66. But why aren't they in the Hall of Fame? Must be a reason. I'd like to see someone get 8 hits in one game. The record is 7. So I go through that in my chapter 72. There's 30 of them if you want to see what I think. All right, chapter 73, best baseball decades. So I list, there's 13 decades from 1870 to 2000, and let's see, I guess you would say 20, right? 2020, the decades. Let's see, what was the best decade? Well, 13th least decade, I would have to say the 1870s, 1870 through 1880, those 10 years. They didn't play as much games, not as many Hall of Fame players. But I go through each decade and I list them, count down. What were my top 5 decades? 1940 to 1950 is number 5. 4, 1960 to 1970. 3, 1950 to 1960. 2, 1900 to 1910. That's when you had the Cobbs and the Wagners and the Mathesons. But my favorite decade has to be 1920 to 1930 because you've got Ruth, Gehrig. Oh, you've got Walter Johnson. You've got Bill Terry. What a decade that was. All right, chapter 74, I get into questions and answers. I go through 55 questions and answers. Question 1. Do you like the designator hitter rule? So I answer the question. I don't. I don't like the DH. I like 9 guys batting. The pitcher hits, just like the old school baseball. They hit. Another question. Where did the game of baseball originate? You have to say England. It has to be in England somewhere. Round ball. What is the hardest position to play in baseball? Could be the pitcher or the catcher. I have to say the pitcher. It's the hardest position. Should players using steroids be in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Depends. If they had a 15-year career and they were just putting up incredible numbers, and then their last 5 years, they pumped themselves up to stay healthy or to keep playing, do you exclude him for the 15 years he was good? I don't know. That's a tough one. I would say depends on the player. I'm really torn on this one. What do you think? I say if he's a good player before the steroids, put him in the Hall of Fame. And if the last 5 years he's messing around with drugs and all that, maybe you can put that on the plaque. What's wrong with that? I don't know. It's a tough one. So I go through 55 questions. Are you in favor of full body armor? Nope, I'm not. Do you like expanding the playoffs to 6 teams in each league? I don't like that either. It's too many playoff games and too many rounds to go through. I know they want more teams involved and more revenue, but in the olden days, the winner of the American League played the National League for the title. What would I do? I'd have all the teams play every team in both leagues, and then at the end, American League champion and National League champion play. If you've got a 162 game season, you should be able to work it out where every team plays each other. Which team would I like to own? I'd like to have my own in Iowa. The Iowa Cornfields would be the name of the team. So I go through 55 questions. Who is the best baseball manager? Connie Mack. Best baseball announcer? Vin Scully, hands down. Okay, so that was that chapter. Chapter 75. I go into faithful Hall of Fame players who I admire. And I list, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 18 players that I really admire. And you know who I really admire? The guys who stuck with their team for their whole career. One team. You know which player has the most years with the same team? There's 2 of them. Brooks Robinson, 23 years with the Baltimore Orioles, and Carl Yastrzemski, 23 years with the Boston Red Sox. I admire that. Do you? Stan Musial, 22 years with the Cardinals. Mel Ott, 22 years with the Giants. Al Kaline, 22 years with the Detroit Tigers. Then you've got other guys at 21 years with the same team. George Brett, the Royals. Walter Johnson, Washington Senators. Ted Lyons, Chicago White Sox. Cal Ripken, Baltimore Orioles, 21 years. Willie Stargell, Pittsburgh Pirates, 21 years. Tony Gwynn, 20 years with the Pods. Derek Jeter, 20 years with the Yankees. Luke Appling, 20 years with the Chicago White Sox. Craig Biggio, 20 years with the Houston Astros. Red Faber, 20 years with Chicago White Sox. And Robin Yount, 20 years with the Milwaukee Brewers. Okay, so I have 84 chapters, and I'm up to 75 I've covered. I've got, this will be Baseball is a Numbers Game 8th video just on this topic. So I'll do 2 more. I'll finish this book. I'm promoting the book. Yes, I am. If you wrote a book, wouldn't you promote it? I am. Baseball is a numbers game, and I've got 500 pages, 84 chapters, and I lay it all out. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, or talk to you next time, and finish reviewing my book. Ken Arzon, I'm out.